Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and for the last week I've been driving the 2025 Mazda MX-5 Grand Touring. Up front is a 2.0 liter inline 4, and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be making this video here today because I've spent the last week and over 600 miles behind the wheel of the Mazda MX-5. This is always one of my favorite press cars to get a year. The MX-5 has gone pretty much unchanged, but we'll talk about why that's a good thing, as well as why that's a bad thing towards the end of the video. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. Let's get back to that 2-liter inline 4 under the hood. That is the Skyactiv 2-liter that they've been using for the entire run of the ND Miata. Now, since the early days in 2015 when this car debuted, they have since bumped up the power from 165 horsepower to 181. I think that is definitely an ample amount of power. We will be comparing it to the BRZ/GR86 later on. But for what I want this car to do, it's a pretty lightweight car, just above 2,300 pounds. It's fantastic, it's buzzy, and it's a joy to rev out to 7,000 RPM. Like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed manual. It feels flawless. It is such a wonderful, wonderful 6-speed. It is truly enjoyable and one of my favorite parts of the vehicle. Last but not least, of course, the MX-5 is rear-wheel drive, and all manual MX-5s come with limited slip differentials, but all automatic ones do not. How does it feel to drive the MX-5? It's glorious. It feels like an appendage. Every curve of the road, you feel everything. It's responsive. The chassis is a little bit floppier than the GR86. When you really start to weave in and out, you do feel a little bit of body roll, but that's the great thing, is you can upgrade those sway bars, you can upgrade the suspension, you can upgrade all of these great things and make it a really well-performing car. So, I love the way the MX-5 drives. It feels light, it's buzzy, and it really mimics the older cars, which I, of course, love to see. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a mix of physical and digital gauges. So off to the left, we have our digital gauge. This, you could cycle through a couple different information screens, which I really like and is super helpful. In the center is our tachometer. I absolutely love a center-mounted tachometer. All sports cars should have it, and of course, the MX-5 does. And off to the right is a physical speedometer. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have our volume, skip track, and phone options, and off to the right, we have cruise control. And off to the left, we have a climate control vent. We have our traction control off button, our security sound off, our safety sound off, automatic high beams, and regular traction off. Moving on to the door, we do have our handle to get in and out, as well as this is finished in body color paint. So this is machine gray, so depending on what color you get your Miata, this color will change. And I'll show a couple other ones here from NDs that I've driven in the past. And down below, we have our power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do get our infotainment display. This was updated last year for the 2024 model year. It is touchscreen, it has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and is everything I need it to be inside a vehicle like this. We do get a climate vent, hazard switch, and another climate vent down below that. We have our climate controls, single zone climate, temperature off to the left, fan speed in the center, where to send it off to the right. And then we have our power top option. So this is the MX-5 RF, meaning retractable fastback. So it is a completely power system. You don't have to touch anything besides the button. It is really cool to watch how the mechanism works, and honestly, this offers the best of both worlds. It gives you better sound deadening, it's less work, and I personally believe that this with the top up looks really, really cool. People always want a coupe hardtop Miata, and so here it is. Off to the right of that, we do have our heated seat buttons. You get more use out of this than you would think. When it's a chilly night with the top down, toss the heated seats on, and you're good to go. We have our SD card slot for the navigation, as well as 2 USB-Cs, and the center-mounted shifter. Standard 6-speed shifter, absolutely love that. We do have some buttons down below for volume and our navigation. Big chunky buttons, they work. I like them. And off to the right, we have the standard parking brake. Now, we do have cup holders in the vehicle. They sadly fail the big friggin' bottle test. However, they are modular, so you can either put it off to the right where the passenger's legs would be, or if you do have passengers, you could put it behind your right elbow. We do have this sorry excuse for a center console. I literally fit my house keys in there, and that was it. However, we do have some storage in the center up above your right elbow. Now, the seats are comfortable. These have been a big game changer because in years past, I've gotten Miata clubs that have the Recaro package, and I love the Recaro package. You get Brembo brakes, BBS wheels, Recaro seats. However, these seats are a lot more comfortable on a long road trip. I fit in them a lot better, and so if you're a bigger guy like me, I would probably opt away from the Recaro seats because this is pretty good. Now, we don't have any back seats, but we do have a trunk, and here it is. It is small. This is another downside comparing it to the GR86/BRZ. I was able to fit a night's worth of luggage back here, a backpack, and my camera equipment, but that was about it. You could probably fit 2 duffel bags in the back, but do not count on this. The cargo space is very, very minimal in a car like this. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I, of course, love the look of the ND Miata. This particular one is finished in machine gray, which is the same color that my personal Mazda 3 is finished in. I really do like the color. These do have somewhat soft paint. You can definitely ask Tyler from Realistic about that because he just bought one of these and got it PPF'd immediately, and you should do the same. The ND hasn't really changed much since it debuted over 10 years ago. They did add a backup camera in the middle of the rear bumper per the government's regulation in 2018, but other than that, nothing too crazy. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the ND Miata for not only the last week, but over 600 miles? So, if you're unaware, I don't think the video will be out yet on the channel, but I took this car on a road trip. I drove it up to Door County and back with my friend in his NA Miata. And so I put a lot of miles on it and sat on the highway in it for a long time. And I have to say it was relatively comfortable in that endeavor. Mazda added a little bit of padding by your right knee, so when you're resting it there on the gas pedal for hours and hours and hours, you have a little bit more cushioning. It was super fun. We put the top down. It was a good road trip vehicle, just a little bit lacking on storage space, and I was able to achieve around 35 miles to the gallon on that trip. So I ended up only spending under $50 to do 600 miles. That is some very impressive numbers. But how do I feel about the ND overall? Well, there's 2 schools of thought, and I'm forever teetering between them. The first school of thought is that this is not a very modern product. Comparing it to the BRZ/GR86, that car blows it out of the water. The interior is more spacious. That car feels more modern. The engine, the 2.4-liter boxer engine, has more torque down low, so it's better driving around town. It feels better. It feels quicker because it is quicker. It makes almost 50 more horsepower. In terms of a modern sports car, the ND Miata is starting to show its age quite a bit, to the point where I made a video talking about if the ND is outdated, and now that video is outdated. That was posted several years ago, and they're still making it with almost no new Miata on the horizon. This is the longest running generation of the Miata now, and it doesn't seem like they're going to slow their roll anytime soon. So if you want the most modern feeling product, the GR86 is going to be the way to go. However, there's that other school of thought, the fact that the next generation of Miata, they very well could screw it up. I'm hoping that they don't, but they very well could. And so, no matter how outdated you might call it today, this car sets out and still achieves the same exact goal that they set out to do 35 years ago. It's still a lightweight roadster. It still has a little 4-cylinder and a manual transmission. It's still fun, it's still cute, and it's still relatively affordable. Now, this is the highest trim, touching $40,000. That's a lot of money for a Miata. However, you could find them for cheaper, and of course on the used market even cheaper. This has always been a very accessible sports car. If you compare this to a Porsche Cayman, if you compare this to a Lotus Evora, if you compare this to even the older S2000s, this is more accessible than those. And so I really truly believe, no matter how outdated it might feel, at the end of the day when the ND finally comes to a close, there's going to be many of us, myself included, saying, just one more day, just one more hour. I wish that they could make this car forever and ever and ever because it is so good. It shouldn't be punished for its outdatedness. It should be praised. This is Mazda making them like how they used to. Every boomer Facebook page is always complaining about, oh, they don't make cars like they used to. Hey, Mazda makes them like they used to. Here it is. This is everything as good as the original Miata, and honestly better in a lot of categories. I have a built-in navigation system so I know where I'm going. I have heated seats for chilly nights. It's simple, it's reliable, it's efficient. This car has aged incredibly well. This is the Paul Rudd or Jennifer Aniston of roadsters. As great as they were in the 90s, they're still great here today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Mazda for loaning me this vehicle for the last week to enjoy one of my favorite vehicles on sale. Huge thank you to Drive Shop for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of this vehicle, and of course, the Midwestern Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.